Hi, welcome to our VB Developing channel. Hope everyone is well. Today we are here with Data Science Part 18. So, in this part of the video we will discuss about the last stage of data manipulation, which is data aggregation. As you can see here. And, in this video we will know about all the 7 things from data aggregation. As you can see here. Alright, first we will know something about data aggregation. So, the last stage of data manipulation is data aggregation. For data aggregation you generally mean a transformation that produces a single integer from an array. In fact, you have already made many operations of data aggregation, for example, when we calculated the sum, mean, count. In fact, these functions operate on a set of data and shall perform a calculation with a consistent result consisting of a single value. However, a more formal manner and the one with more control in data aggregation is that which includes the categorization of a set. The categorization of a set of data carried out for grouping is often a critical stage in the process of data analysis. It is a process of transformation since after the division into different groups, you apply a function that converts or transforms the data in some way depending on the group they belong to. Very often the two phases of grouping and application of a function are performed in a single step. Also for this part of the data analysis, Pandas provides a tool very flexible and high performance, GroupBy. Again, as in the case of join, those familiar with relational databases and the SQL language can find similarities. Nevertheless, languages such as SQL are quite limited when applied to operations on groups. In fact, given the flexibility of a programming language like Python, with all the libraries available, especially pandas, you can perform very complex operations on groups. Now we will know about GroupBy. Now you will analyze in detail what the process of GroupBy is and how it works. Generally, it refers to its internal mechanism as a process called split apply combine. So in its pattern of operation you may conceive this process as divided into 3 different phases expressed precisely by 3 operations. Number 1, splitting, division into groups of data sets. Number 2, applying, application of a function on each group, and number 3, combining, combination of all the results obtained by different groups. Analyze better the 3 different phases. In the first phase, that of splitting. Now you can see here, split according to color. The data contained within a data structure, such as a series or a data frame, are divided into several groups, according to a given criterion, which is often linked to indexes or just certain values in a column. In the jargon of SQL, values contained in this column are reported as keys. Furthermore, if you are working with 2-dimensional objects such as the data frame, the grouping criterion may be applied both to the line, axis equals 0, for that column, axis equals 1. Now you can see here, after splitted then apply and here using mean function. And last was combine, as you can see. Now we will see some practical example. You have just seen that the process of data aggregation in Pandas is divided into various phases called precisely split apply combine. With these, pandas are not expressed explicitly with the functions as you would have expected, but by a GroupBy function that generates an GroupBy object, then that is the core of the whole process. but to understand this mechanism, you must switch to a practical example. So, first, define a data frame containing both numeric and string values. Now you can see the output as data frame. Suppose you want to calculate the average price one column using group labels listed in the column color. There are several ways to do this. You can, for example, access the price one column and call the GroupBy function with the column color. As you can see the column Now you can see the object as output. The object that we got is a GroupBy object. In the operation that you just did, there was not really any calculation, there was just a collection of all the information needed to calculate to be executed. What you have done is in fact a process of grouping, in which all rows having the same value of color are grouped into a single item. To analyze in detail how the division into groups of rows of data frame was made, you call the attribute groups GroupBy object. Now you can see the output. Here we got group according to color. Now see here, green was row 2 and 4. As you can see, and similarly rest of the item are in same way. As you can see, each group is listed explicitly specifying the rows of the data frame assigned to each of them. Now it is sufficient to apply the operation on the group to obtain the results for each individual group. First we will use mean function. Now you can see the output after using mean function. And now we will use sum function. Now you can see the output. Now we will know about hierarchical grouping. You have seen how to group the data according to the values of a column as a key choice. The same thing can be extended to multiple columns, such as, make a grouping of multiple keys hierarchical. Alright, now you can see here the hierarchical group. Now we will use some function. As you can see the output. So far you have applied the grouping to a single column of data, but in reality it can be extended to multiple columns or the entire data frame. Also, if you do not need to reuse the object GroupBy several times, it is convenient to combine in a single passing all of the grouping and calculation to be done, without defining any intermediate variable. Now you can see the output. Again you can see the output in different way. Now we will know about group iteration. The GroupBy object supports the operation of an iteration for generating a sequence of two tuples containing the name of the group together with the data portion. Let's see the example. Alright, now you can see the output. As you can see here, this is the group iteration. In the example you have just seen, you only applied the print variable for illustration. In fact, you replace the printing operation of a variable with the function to be applied on it. Alright, so now we will discuss about chain of transformations. From these examples you have seen that for each grouping, when subjected to some function calculation or other operations in general, regardless of how it was obtained and the selection criteria, the result will be a data structure series, if we selected a single column data, or data frame, which then retains the index system and the name of the columns. Now you can see here we got pandas series. Now we will select only numeric columns before applying GroupBy and mean. Now you can see here we got pandas data frame. So it is possible to select a single column at any point in the various phases of this process. Here are three cases in which the selection of a single column in three different stages of the process applies. This example illustrates the great flexibility of the system of grouping provided by pandas. Now you can see here we got GroupBy object. Alright, now you can see here we got mean of price 1 column. Alright, now group by color and compute the mean for numeric columns only. Here you can see, here we got same output as before. In addition, after an operation of aggregation, the names of some columns may not be very meaningful in certain cases. In fact, it is often useful to add a prefix to the column name that describes the type of business combination. Adding a prefix, instead of completely replacing the name, is very useful for keeping track of the source data from which they are derived aggregate values. This is important if you apply a process of transformation chain. A series of data frame is generated from each other, in which it is important to somehow keep some reference with the source data. Now we will group by color and compute the mean for numeric columns only, then add prefix to column names. Now you can see the output. Here we got two columns, price 1 and price 2. Now we will know about functions on groups. Although many methods have not been implemented specifically for use with GroupBy, they actually work correctly with data structures as the series. You saw in the previous section how easy it is to get the series by a GroupBy object, specifying the name of the column and then by applying the method to make the calculation. For example, you can use the calculation of quantiles with the quantiles function. Now you can see the output after using quantile function. You can also define their own aggregation functions. Define the function separately and then you pass as an argument to the mark function. For example, you could calculate the range of the values of each group. So here you can see the output. The ag function allows you to use aggregate functions on specified columns. So here you can see the output. Also you can use more aggregate functions at the same time, always with the mark function passing an array containing the list of operations to be done, which will become the new columns. Again you can see here we got 3 functions output as the same time. Alright, now we will know about advanced data aggregation. In this section you will be introduced to transform and apply functions, which will allow you to perform many kinds of group operations, some very complex. Now suppose we want to bring together in the same data frame the following: 1. The data frame of origin, the one containing the data, and 2. That obtained by the calculation of group aggregation, for example the sum. Let's see the example. Group aggregation, sum of price 1 and 2 by color. Now you can see the original data frame, and this is the sums data frame. Now we will merging the original data frame with the aggregated sums data frame. As you can see the output. So thanks to the merge function, you managed to add the results of a calculation of aggregation in each line of the data frame to start. But actually there is another way to do this type of operation. That is by using the transform. This function performs the calculation of aggregation as you have seen before, but at the same time shows the values calculated based on the key value on each line of the data frame to start. Now applying GroupBy and apply to get the maximum values within each group. So now you can see the output, after transformed. So now we will see another example. As you can see, the transform method is a more specialized function that has very specific requirements. The function passed as an argument must produce a single scalar value to be broadcasted. The method to cover more general GroupBy is applicable to apply. This method applies in its entirety the scheme split apply combine. In fact, this function divides the object into parts in order to be manipulated, invokes the passage of function on each piece, and then tries to chain together the various parts. Now here we will change the frame. Now applying GroupBy and apply to get the maximum values within each group. Now you can see here maximum values within each group. Once you can see the original data frame. And again you can see the maximum values within each group. Now we will rename columns and use a hypothetical index renaming. Alright, now you can see here all the columns are renamed and index are renamed. Alright, so in this chapter you saw the three basic parts which divide the data manipulation, preparation, processing, and data aggregation. Thanks to a series of examples you've got to know a set of library functions that allow pandas to perform these operations. You saw how to apply these functions on simple data structures so that you can become familiar with how they work and understand its applicability to more complex cases. So friends, our today's video was up to this, so thanks for watching the video. See you in the next video. Please subscribe our channel and don't forget to like and share the video. Thank you.